Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is the official channel for the Sweet Home Oregon Sasquatch Research Group. I'm Michelle, your mistress of cryptid information. Sweet Home is our home base. I started the group about 2 months ago, I guess, and it's exploded. And I have so many wonderful group members and stories, and I wanted to share them with you. So sit back, relax, listen, and enjoy. I'll tell you a little bit more about Sweet Home. So we are in the western foothills of the Cascade Mountain Range. We've got a few cryptids here for sure. And that's one of the reasons why I started the group, was because so many people would stop me and talk to me about my bumper stickers. I have Bigfoot bumper stickers and stuff. And men, especially older men who look like they hunt a lot and camp a lot, would stop and tell me about these really special places in the woods around here in the foothills and up in the mountains. So I've visited a few of those places, and they are phenomenal. They're magical. And I've talked to a lot of people. So there's also the Giants. The Giant store is located right down the road. So the Giant store is this huge rock door. It looks like a door. Well, I don't know if it opens, but it's a big door, and it's up on a cliff. And it's someplace special. There's been, some stories out there about it. There's been some TikToks. There's been some YouTube videos about people seeing giants out there and Bigfoot. So, yeah, it's also a pretty magical place. We've seen lights in the sky that cannot be explained. It doesn't happen often, but it happens enough that people talk about it on the community pages. So, and that was another thing that made me want to start the page, was there's just so many magical stories from magical people around here. So, yeah, so the forest surrounding us is legendary, and so are the monsters that live in it. I would love for you to join me for stories, interviews, conversations with really great people who have really great stories and credible stories, legit stories, and stories that they're passionate about. So, yeah, the mysteries that surround us are just amazing, and I want to know all about them, and I want to share that with you. So you can find us on Facebook. The name of our group is the Sweet Home Oregon Sasquatch Research Group. Let me tell you a little bit about my background and why I am so fascinated by the Bigfoot stories. So when I was 5, that I could remember, it could have been earlier than that, but I don't remember that. I had night terrors. I called them night terrors at the time, about Bigfoot, and they weren't necessarily influenced from an outside source, because we didn't talk about Bigfoot. I grew up in Michigan, in a farming community, and once in a while when I got older, I would hear people talk about it, but the sightings were more up north and in the UP. So, they weren't necessarily down where I grew up. But anyways, I had these dreams until I was probably about 19, but it was recurring. So there was 2 of them. The first one was, I was in a really beautiful old-fashioned Victorian type home, And there were antiques. There was no running water in the house. There was no electricity. There were gas lamps, things like that. So, and I remember I had a dress on. It was kind of like, it reminded me of like a Laura Ingalls Wilder dress. And I remember looking out the window and seeing Bigfoot basically walk up on the porch and open the door. So I took off out the back door, and that's how I noticed that we didn't have running water in the house, because there wasn't a faucet or a pump even. And when I ran out the back door, I noticed a pump coming out of the ground, and an outhouse. And I ran, and I was running through the tall grass, and he would chase me. And so this was frightening. And I would wake up crying, and I would want my mom, and I would want my grandma, to comfort me. And this happened over and over and over again until I was 19. And the dream kind of changed a little bit, but not too much. He didn't chase me anymore. He just stared at me through a window. And so I woke up one morning bawling my eyes out because I was super scared and just tired of having these dreams. I'd been having them for 15 years, and I was done. So I told my mom, and she told my aunt, and my aunt took me to somebody who specialized in energy work. I guess you could say she was a psychic, but I'm not saying this in a bad way, but she kind of said that. She said I had daddy issues and I had to confront it. So anyways, I don't feel like that was the case at all. I feel like it was something different. So after that, I really quit having the dreams. Like I think I just, I said enough is enough, and I'm stressed out and I'm anxious over it. So I just don't want it anymore. But I always held this fascination of Bigfoot, and, was it real? And if it was, where could I find it? So I've traveled all over the United States. I've been to almost every state. There's some states on the eastern seaboard that I haven't been to, but, and I've been to Canada. But so I went from Michigan to, down to Texas, and there were a couple other places, and I got to California. And when I moved to California, I moved to, LA, and it wasn't my vibe. I really hated LA. It just, I couldn't fit in to LA. It was way too fast for me. So I went up to the Bay Area, and so I started, taking camping trips to Northern California and seeing, Klamath and Willow Creek and all these places that were infamous for having Sasquatch sightings. And I got back into it pretty heavy, and I decided to move to Oregon. And here I am in the Cascade Mountains, once again, passionate about Sasquatch and the stories and the people whose lives have been changed dramatically because of their experiences. And I think it's really important to, listen to them and believe them, because, statistics are not all of the stories are fake stories, right? One of them has to be real. And if there's thousands of stories, then half of them have to be real, right? At least that's how I feel about it. So, and I've talked to people, and like I said, they're passionate, and they're credible, and they have a lot of good information. So I like the scientific touch. People like Jeff Meldrum, with the foot casts, the metatarsal break. I really love Thinker Thunker and his breakdowns, his proportional DNA theory is amazing. Yeah, the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch group, they are amazing. So there's going to be a lot of people that I will endorse as being super credible and, worth listening to. So with that being said, thank you for checking out my page. It's wonderful that you're here. Please subscribe and tell your friends, share the page, because this is a friendly environment and we care about you. We care about your stories. We care about Bigfoot. We care about our wood, our forests, the environment. And yeah, so thanks. And I will talk to you later.